everybody, it's me. I'm about to go to work. I finally got me a load, so I'm about to go to work. Look, I'm coming and tell y'all some things. They got this thing that I thought was new, but actually it isn't new. But everyone needs to have it. If you plan on flying domestically, meaning flying within the U.S., or if you plan on entering federal facilities or nuclear power plants. I ain't never going to that. I ain't never going to no nuclear power plant. So one of my homeboys told me about it, and I actually supposed to be taking a flight November I'm supposed to be flying. So he was telling me about it, and so I got curious and I asked my aunt about it, the one in the military. I asked her about it. So then she did some research on it. She had kind of heard about it, but she like really didn't know what it was. So we dug a little deep, and it's called a Real ID. So for those who don't know and you're planning on flying within the U.S., you have to have a Real ID or a passport. A Real ID. If you don't have the Real ID, your passport, military ID, or some federal issued ID will be acceptable. So, you're like me, I ain't in the military, which I'm getting my passport. It's actually, it need to be in the mail today, but it probably isn't because my mom haven't called me. So I'm just letting y'all know that y'all need to look into getting y'all a Real ID if you travel, if you fly a lot, if you fly in it, if you think you might get on an airplane, which by October the 1st, 2020, that's when everyone have to have the Real ID. Now I'm gonna insert a picture here where you can see mine. Now as you can see, I have Mississippi driver license. And I didn't know that gold check or that gold star, well, actually it's a white star with a gold circle around it. I didn't know that was a Real ID. Now I did look up and see how much it is. I don't think you can have a Real ID and a driver license. You can't have that. You have to be on your driver license, but it's $30. Now I knew I had paid a little bit too much when I got my license switched from Texas to Mississippi, but you know, I didn't question that. I already been there all day. I didn't know what was going on. This thing seemed blurry. Let me clean the lens. But after thinking about it, and now I found out about this Real ID, I'm like, oh, okay then. Well, that's what it is. And you also still have to pay to have your license renewed. Now Mississippi started putting them on their license, putting the white gold star. It's a gold star, a solid gold star, a solid black star. Then it's a white star with a gold circle around it, which is the one that I have that you just saw. Then it's a white star with a black circle around it, and also it's a bear with the white star on its butt side, on its back side. And I think that's California. So I didn't know about the Real ID, and then we looked it up, but those are the symbols. That's how they're gonna look. If you have that on your license, then you have the Real ID. Mississippi started putting them on their license back in 2018. When people go and get their license renewed, that was the license. Oh, battery getting low. That was the license that they was receiving. So if you don't have it, and if your license not due to be renewed until say like 2021, 2022, or whatever, after 2020, then you will have to go to the DMV, and based on what I was reading, you will have to pay the $30 for the Real ID, and for some places it's $30.50 to get your license renewed, which I switched my license from one state to another. And so you have to, all those fees will be added in there. But I suggest y'all go to DHS.gov. DHS, Department of Home Security, DHS.gov. I suggest y'all go there, or just type in, and I try to put it down here at the bottom, DHS.gov, or just type in on Google Real ID. Type in Real ID, and I put that down there too, so you can see exactly what it is and what steps you need to take when it comes to your state. Or by October the 1st, 2020, everybody gonna have to have it. But things that you might need to look up, see, or whatever the case may be. I know when my auntie was reading it, it was saying kids didn't have to have it if they're 18 or under. But then we also read something where it says that if your child is between the age of 5 and 16 and you just wanted to get them a real ID, it was going to cost $5. But if they're 17 or older, it was free. So it could very well vary from state to state. So I just encourage everyone to go look up your state when it comes to having this real ID. And my auntie also read that they estimate approximately 99 plus million people in the U.S. have no clue about a real ID, and I was one of them. Until my homeboy mentioned it to me, I ain't know what he was talking about. I ain't never heard of such thing. So, and it's an act that was passed in, it's a bill that was passed in 2005, and it pertains to the 9/11, but it was passed in 2005. They're just not starting to enforce it, and you have to have it to fly on a commercial domestic airplane or aircraft. And what was the other one? To enter a federal facility, a nuclear power plant, and things like that. So y'all just go check it out and see what steps y'all need to take. I'm just informing you of it, and so more people will be aware of it, because I didn't know about it. So I'm gonna leave this here. I'm in the video right here, and I will talk to y'all good people later. All right.